Hey guys, it's Monday morning. This is the Lovin Dubai show. We spoke about the EmSAT cancellation. How many cars are on the roads in Dubai? If you're stuck in traffic, you need this information. Also, what Mr. Beast did on the top of the Burj Khalifa.
And if you are not subscribed to the Lovin Dubai show podcast, subscribe wherever you get your podcast from and enjoy.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story, a cause for celebration. The UAE cancels the EmSAT exams for grade 12 students.
As well, there are 3.5 million cars on Dubai roads. And as well, which is honestly amazing, a 10% registration.
Interesting on that one. Also, a Dubai Mall cleaner is being praised for his honesty.
And Mr. Beast climbed the world's tallest building.
Also, later on in the show, we're going to be joined by Maha Abouelenein on the 7 rules of self-resilience, hustle culture, personal brand building, and should you work for free?
And in today's rapid weather report, we have patches of fog across the country, so please drive carefully. Expect highs of 34 degrees in Dubai today with humidity at 85%. Where are you, winter?
Yes. You know what? I feel like about the weather, we're pretending that it's winter. Like everyone's like, it's early November, so we're going to be outside. It was roasting this weekend. It's so sticky.
I know. And I was like moving houses. And in light of that, I'm like keeping my winter clothes, like out in case winter decides to arrive. So if you are deciding to arrive winter, my clothes are ready for you.
And so Farah, first of all, welcome back, Farah. She's been away for a week. We missed you much. And you chose to move in summer weather.
Yeah.
You're back. You were moving for a week. How did it go?
Oh,
okay?
my God. No.
Do you need a tissue?
Yeah. Do you see, guys, that lady? I am like that lady. I'm not even joking. I had like 2 mental breakdowns as we were moving because of how chaos. It is chaos. And I can assure you, Casey, it's not for the weak. Moving is not for the weak.
You know what the interesting thing about moving is here is that we're so blessed that we have people to do the moving, right? So generally there's a company, but I think we move more than people in other cities do. So for example, you might move like 3 or 4 times in your lifetime. If you're living in the city, for some reason, rental prices go up and down, and for whatever reasons, you're moving 3 or 4 times a decade.
I know.
And it's a lot, and it's the forms.
I mean, look, I'll tell you something. First of all, for moving, I had a mental breakdown. I told my mom, I'm like, I feel like Ibn Battuta. Because like I moved around everywhere, you know what I mean? Like Ibn Battuta, because like Ibn Battuta, he traveled around, like different countries. And I had a mental breakdown. I'm like, you know what? I feel like Ibn Battuta because of the amount of forms that I had to do. You think that it's easy, but I can tell you it is not easy at all.
It's the move out and the move in. So when I was moving into our building, it was like 6 forms, and I'd never had maybe DIWA before because my landlord paid for, so I needed to get DIWA, gas, Wi-Fi,
internet, everything. I swear to God, like when I moved here, like, I didn't know what is a final bill. I mean, I thought, moving out, I'll take my stuff and leave. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not because like they're asking for DIWA final bill. They're asking for internet final bill. They're asking for an NOC from the landlord. Okay.
And if you haven't lived there for a year, you're like paying bills on top of that. It's a pricey.
It is.
It's a pricey time. So it's okay. You'll be all right. Breathe.
Wallah,
you made it through when you're back.
I mean, I made it. I made it through. However, I remember I would have a breakdown, and my mom would have a breakdown because like we are combining 2 houses together into one, right?
That happened to me last time.
Exactly. How? Like I want to know. Like how would you rate the moving in and moving out process out of 10?
Service-wise, 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Use the same company. People are literally taking my glasses out for me, putting them in, bubble wrapping them, putting them into a box, and repeat on the other side. Fantastic.
Okay.
For myself, but it was a struggle moving into a smaller place, and like there's just boxes everywhere. Playing Tetris for like 3 or 4 days. I still have wild things on the balcony I never knew I owned. But generally we move because it's a more simple process and you get to live in different places. So fine.
Yeah,
it's over.
I mean, I told my mom, I'm like, I really hope that we don't move out of the south.
Yeah, really, you just block out that period. Move on.
Yeah, I am moving on.
And speaking of moving on, we bring you amazing, incredible news as our top story of the day.
Well, this used to be my worst nightmare. However, of course, after I graduate, they decide to for this decision that the UAE cancels EmSAT for grade 12 students. So the Ministry of Education, alongside the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, has just announced the immediate cancellation of the EmSAT exam for 12th grade students, which means that EmSAT will no longer be part of the higher education admission process.
If we were a radio or a music show, you would hear bells ringing. So instead of the EmSATs, universities will set their own admission criteria based on the specific specializations students wish to pursue. This move aims to create a smoother transition into higher education, allowing students to focus on their passions and ambitions.
Well, that's not all, because for those aspiring to enter medical and engineering programs, there's a new twist. Admission will now prioritize grades in science subjects rather than overall scores. Now, this shift ensures that students' strength in relevant subjects take center stage.
The Minister of Education, Sarah Al-Amari, shared her thoughts on this significant change, stating the decision is in line with our efforts to develop policies to evaluate students' performance during their academic stages.
And as she said, this decision marks a pivotal movement for students and universities alike, offering greater flexibility and a focus on individual strengths.
Can I just say, first of all, I know as students will be rejoicing, but what I love so much about the UAE is they make quick changes. So I could look at the education system in a lot of countries and it's archaic. And there's questions like, why are we still doing this? Because the government is not fast, not swift. In this case, a conversation that we'll jump into, people are saying, why am I doing these exams? Do they really have relevancy? And they just made this dramatic change and it makes sense for education.
I agree with you because, I have done the SATs and I was thinking the whole time, why am I studying calculus? Why am I doing all of these things when I want to be a journalist? I can maybe do some English, exams. Yeah, for sure. Maybe some writing exams. But how was that relevant to me? And it took a lot of my time.
I'm sure it did. Can you I didn't grow up with this education system, so could you give me a rundown, or anyone else similar to myself who doesn't know what the EmSATs are?
So technically, after when you want to get to university, you need to have the EmSATs and you need to have the IELTS to get to the university admissions process. And that's exactly the American SAT as well. You need to have them all done.
All of them?
All of them. And of course, the worst part is that you need to get a good grade. So you need to study.
Fair enough.
Even literally, as you said, fair enough. And most of the times, the EmSATs and the American SATs, they are math. They're calculus. And it's why are we doing that? You know what I mean? If someone wants to be a doctor, they are more into the biology sector, right? And someone who wants to be a journalist like us, we are more focused on English. So you need to get there to SATs, and then you need to do the IELTS to get through the university admissions process.
After the EmSATs?
After the EmSATs. And then after that, or else, they don't even let you graduate school if you don't have those exams.
All of them.
Done.
Okay.
So students do that, and they spend the rest of their grade 12 juggling between the exams, the regular exams, and as well the EmSATs, right?
Okay.
And then they have to do the IELTS, and then all of them, they come together to go through the admissions process. And then, for example, with Maha and I realized that we didn't need that at university.
You didn't.
We didn't need that.
On the other side of it, people say there's a lot of things we could say we didn't need at university, but it's amazing that the UAE stepped in. But my question is, now they're saying that the universities will then ask for criteria based on the course you're choosing. What about people who don't know what they want to do?
I mean,
like, because you don't. You're 17. Like, the world is your oyster. You could think you want to be a doctor, but in fact, your skill set lies somewhere else. So, would there be a bit of a concern there that you're focusing on one thing when you're still not really sure?
I mean, that is actually a very good question, because what schools are doing right now is at grade 12, towards like the end, they hold a lot of workshops for students to know what they want and where they maybe shine better and maybe where they can exceed, you know. Now some students as well, maybe who still don't know, there are a lot of teachers who can help with helping the students navigate what they want. I remember when I was at school, I was lucky enough to know what I want to do, but some of my friends did not know what they would want to do, so they would navigate that through, of course, you know, the teachers.
Well, what we will say is it has been amazing that they have been shelved. However, students, if you're watching this, exams don't mean anything. They don't mean everything, not anything, everything, not anything. Let's jump into our next story. We're talking about cars on the roads.
Well, there are 3.5 million cars on Dubai roads and a 10% registration. What does that mean? So Dubai roads are now a home to a staggering 3.5 million vehicles during daytime hours. Over the past 2 years, registered vehicles in the city have jumped by 10%, which is a remarkable increase compared to the global average of just 2 to 4%. Now, these figures were shared during a recent briefing with His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum by Mattar Al Tayer, the Director General of Dubai Roads and Transport Authority (RTA).
So, even with this number of cars on the roads and the traffic, Dubai ranks impressively on the Global Journey Time Index. So, according to the 2023 TomTom Global Traffic Index, it takes just 12 minutes and 50 seconds to travel 10 kilometers to the central business district. And now, for comparison, that's a lot quicker than other major cities like Singapore and London. Now, during this briefing, His Highness was updated on some major RTA initiatives, including a whopping 16 billion dirham main roads development plan for 2024 until 2027.
Now, this plan includes 22 new projects designed to enhance Dubai's already expansive road network, benefiting over 6 million people. I mean, when I read that today, I was thinking, because I already like on the road and I see a lot of cars, even if I'm not on that road, it gets me a lot of like, stress, you know what I mean? So I was thinking, does that mean more stress to individuals?
No, I think, well, I think it's like there's a lot of cars on the road, but the RTA is putting 16 billion dirham to make sure that traffic will still continue to flow smoothly. We saw the budget announcement last week while you were away, and what is it, like 30-something%, correct me on that one, is going towards infrastructure, and a lot of that is going to be roads themselves, whether it's like the drainage, sewerage, or just improving the roads. So although we do have a pain point now with traffic, I genuinely believe there's been massive changes to ensure that traffic is going to get better as more people come into the city. So less stress, more success.
More success, okay.
We had these like study books when I grew up and they were called Less Stress, More Success. If you just read the book. RTA is reading the book.
I mean, to be honest with you, Casey, one thing that makes me more at ease when like reading such a big number, you know, 3.5 billion is not a small number, is the fact that as I am on the road, I see a lot of like new bridges are being built and new roads are being opened. That gives me more ease. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how the roads will look like moving forward with the 3.5 billion.
Me too. We're going into like that Futurama where there's going to be roads on top of roads on top of roads. But it means we're going to get to where we need to go faster. So we thank RTA for that. Jumping into our next story, this broke on Friday. This Dubai Mall cleaner is being praised for his honesty. So in what world would you leave your phone in a bathroom, in a busy mall, in a busy city, and actually get it back?
Well, Hassan Al Amir is full of praise for a cleaner in Dubai Mall after he said the cleaner returned the expensive phone without second hesitation. He posted on LinkedIn saying, "I left my phone in the washroom in Dubai Mall, and after 5 minutes, I remembered it and called it from another phone. Now the cleaner answered and gave it to me. The value of my phone is equal to twice his monthly salary, but honesty is priceless." Now I hope my message reaches the management of Dubai Mall.
I hope so. With this story.
I really hope so.
What I love about it is this can happen. And it happened to my mom, by the way, about a year ago. She left her wallet with cash and cards and everything. She just left it at Dubai Mall. She went back, everything was in it. And that happened, but no one really got recognition for that. But what I really like about this is Hassan. He is an Emirati man from Abu Dhabi. He took to his LinkedIn and he posted a video of himself with the man in Dubai Mall being like, let's recognize this man for his honest deed.
I mean, you know what? I would love to, if we can recognize not only this man, like everyone, all of the cleaners, all of the helpers, everyone in Dubai, really. We live in a city where like, they would not, like, if you lose something, you get it. You didn't lose it. It's there. You know what I mean? And we should recognize all of the cleaners, because I know for sure that it's not only him. It's other cleaners who wouldn't have taken the phone. I am 100% sure.
Mm-hmm. And recognize the safety bubble that we live in as well.
Yeah, I love the word bubble.
Although we do have this general sense of safety around us, we should also, look after your phones.
Keep them,
Get that sticky thing on your phone just in case. Okay, before we jump into our next story, the Lovin Dubai newsletter had a major refresh. So if you shun social media but you still want your daily dose of news fresh into your inbox every day, you can subscribe now to the Lovin Dubai newsletter.
Well, you can find the sign up link. It's our link in bio on Instagram. Simple.
Speaking of Instagram and social media, Mr. Beast climbed the world's tallest building. So going to space, visiting the Antarctic, these are money can buy experiences, but Mr. Beast has joined a list of 10, people in the world who have scaled the world's tallest building, an experience that money cannot buy.
Well, one of the world's top YouTubers with 327 million followers broke the internet this weekend with his video titled $1 versus $500,000 experiences, where he highlights some of the most extravagant experiences this city has to offer.
You know, Mr. Beast has had his, fair share of controversies, but social media videos, he just does so well. Like, this is, maybe it's like a 10 or a 20-minute clip, but there's so much content in it. He starts by saying he's going to evaluate experiences based on their cost. He says this experience was $1.
I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
The riding camel. But he only rode the camel for like a minute and then he had to get off. And then he did a couple of other experiences outside of the UAE. And then the last 10 minutes of the video is like phenomenal Dubai at its best. So he arrives in the Atlantis. They go shark diving. They're standing at the top of the frame. I didn't know that was a thing. You stand on top of the frame?
I don't think you can do that.
No, but Mr. Beast can.
I mean, yeah, Mr. Beast, he is... I would love to go out with him. Because he seems to be he seems very adventurous, and he seems very he's not afraid of anything. And he has done a lot, and he climbed Burj Khalifa. Yeah,
he joins a list of 10 people. Tom Cruise, Hassan Sheikh Hamdan, Crown Prince of Dubai, of course. Nicole Smith Ludwig, who was doing a campaign for Emirates, you'll remember that. Will Smith, Elaine Robert, and only a couple of more people outside of, the engineers and the builders who stood at the very top of the Burj Khalifa. And I've seen the photos. I know what it looks like. I've been to the top myself. But when I see a person literally on
the actual top,
prefaces, his name is Jimmy Donaldson, by the way, Mr. Beast, and he turns the camera around and he just shows the bottom and he says, go and click on the YouTube video. And I'm like, click, 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 click. Show me how you did it. He climbed all the stairs to get there. It's so phenomenal. I'm like, Mr. Beast, I don't know how you got there. I don't think you paid $500,000, because if you did, this is what all the billionaires would be doing. It's like when you buy a Tesla, because you can brand it. Now everyone's buying, not Teslas, the big Elon Musk
jet
Tesla trucks. Trucks.
Okay. Yeah.
And everyone's branding them because you can. If you could pay $500,000 to get to the top of the Burj Khalifa, you wouldn't do it?
I would freak out because, I am very adventurous and everything.
Clearly.
But I am but I'm not Mr. Beast adventurous.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
It's like I would be shaking. I'd be like, oh my God, am I gonna fall? Am I not gonna fall? because like if anyone would look at me, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm falling. Oh my God, my phone is falling. Oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I trust in Dubai and I trust in engineers and I trust in everything, but I don't know if I'd be able to go to the top of the Burj Khalifa climbing it. Okay, it's 8:49. We are so excited to welcome our next guest on the show. Maha Abouelenein is the author of 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. We're going to talk hustle culture, personal brand building, and should we work for free? She's going to be with us after this short break. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Maha Abouelenein, the global communication strategist. She is the author of 7 Rules of Self-Reliance, How to Stay Low and Keep Moving, a book that shows you how to deploy your greatest asset, yourself, to achieve your dreams and beyond. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Casey. I miss you. I'm glad to be back here.
Oh, we're so excited to welcome to the studio. Thank you for your time. She's a busy lady.
Well, I mean, I love your energy. I want to say that first and foremost. And I want to ask you, for people who are seeing this book for the first time, what is one takeaway that you would want people to leave with when looking at the book?
First of all, like you said, the most important asset is yourself. The concept of self-reliance is not that I need to rely on myself, I don't need anybody. It's the concept of investing in yourself before you reach out to work with other people. Build your personal brand. Build your own relationships, have a network of relationships, and find ways to add value to other people.
Speaking of adding value, you say hustle culture is our value. We should use our strengths to hustle. But how can we define what our strengths actually are for people watching today? Like, how do I know what I'm good at?
Yeah, how do you know what you're good at? Take an inventory. Think about, like, ask somebody, what are 3 things I'm known for? What are some things that you think about when you think about me? Like, what are some things that come to mind? Are those the things you want to be known for? How to find your narrative? What do you stand for? How do you want to show up in this world? That's your reputation, and that's what you need to focus on. Everybody has a unique talent and a secret sauce, and I want you to be able to use that to get ahead in what you want to do, either personally or professionally.
How can you use that for like someone, you know, like in Dubai, people come to Dubai to look for jobs and opportunities. And we know that Dubai is the city of opportunities. So for someone who is jobless, how can they use that and utilize that for the employers?
Okay, first of all, number 1, which is the biggest chapter in the book, build your reputation, build your personal brand. A lot of people think personal brand is about being a social media influencer. No, it's about your reputation. So making sure you have a strong reputation can bring you opportunities. Number 2, build relationships. Become very good at networking, not just on LinkedIn, but in real life. Meet with people. Learn about their businesses. Learn about what are the ways you can bring value to them. Your network is not there to serve you. You should serve your network. So I think it's really important that if you're new to the country and you want to figure out where to start by trying to make a lot of relationships and build that network of yours. Second, focus on your reputation. What do you want to be known for? How can people really know how you can show up in the world? And number 3, think about being curious. Learn about the different industries. Learn about the different opportunities that exist in Dubai. Study things like watch Lovin Dubai. Find out what's happening in industry, what's happening in culture, and find where you can kind of pull that string and be more active in that area.
I think be curious was one of the biggest things in the book that came out, is in like just keep deep diving into new things to find where you can add value. But one of the things also that was unique for you personally is that you've done a lot of, I guess, work for free.
Yes.
But for people who are looking for jobs, for example, and they want, do you suggest that as an avenue for someone to go down? For example, unpaid internships.
Yeah, I really think, like, especially if you're new to the market, one of the things you can do, I always look at an opportunity as 2 kind of avenues. Is this an opportunity to learn or an opportunity to earn? Sometimes I took jobs or I asked to work for free so I can show people what I'm capable of doing and be intentional about it, but also it's going to give me an opportunity to learn. Learn about that business, learn about that industry, learn and make new relationships. So I figured I worked for free for Gary Vee for quite some time. I did a big project for Matt Higgins because I wanted to spend time getting to know them. I understood the long-term benefits of investing in that relationship and not thinking about what am I going to get at the end as a transaction, knowing that I was going to get experience, I was going to get exposure, I was going to build tremendous relationships. And I feel it's critical in today's world that you don't work on instant gratification. Like, I'm going to do this for you so you can do something for me. What about being a long-term player and putting a deposit in someone else's trust bank?
I totally agree with you, but was there ever any doubt? Because like it seems like you're not just like doing a project for someone behind the scenes, like monumental amounts of work and personal sacrifice, I'm sure, on your behalf. So was there ever inches of doubt, and how do you get rid of that doubt?
Exactly. Well, you need to balance it, right? You don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to give away the house for free. So you need to be calculated. These are the boundaries. This is how much time I'm willing to spend. I'm willing to use my time, but I'm not going to use the resources of my company or my team because those are billable hours for clients. So you have to set that kind of boundaries of where you're going to go. And there's no risk without a reward, right? You need to figure out what am I willing, how much time am I willing to spend, how much effort am I willing to do, so I can make sure I'm not just giving away, like I said, the house for free.
Mm. Well, like in a country where like a lot of internships can be maybe like, oh yeah, it's for free, right? So how can you set the boundary? Like, okay, fine, this is what I want, and this is what I want out of the internship, whether it's money or whether it's a job.
Set some goals. Like, I'm going to spend some time trying to build some relationships. I'm going to, like, once you think you've learned what you want to learn, then is the time for you to say, okay, evaluate, do I need to keep going, or have I maximized my return on this investment? You know, what relationships have I built? Have I learned enough about the industry? Do I really feel like I understand? If, you know, I talk about in the story in the book of my first move to Egypt, I got offered to be the secretary for the chairman of a big company, a billionaire, Naguib Sawiris. And I was like, I thought I was overqualified to be a secretary, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this role because it's going to give me a chance to learn. If you get a chance to work close to the sun, a chairman of a company, a billionaire, somebody where you can learn ins and outs of the business, make relationships, learn the industry, then you have to sign up for it and you need to lean in.
The book is filled with personal stories. One such example of to be a creator, not a waiter. So could you share a personal story of how you actually, employed that method into your real life?
Yeah, so the book is filled with a lot of stories that have to do with the Middle East, because this is where I built my career and worked for more than 23 years, working in the office of the ruler of Dubai, working at Kareem, building out their communications infrastructure, head of communications at Google based in Dubai, launching Netflix in Dubai in the Middle East, and working here for 5 years for Netflix. And I feel like the big chapter 3 or rule number 3 in the book is don't be a waiter. Often in life, we're waiting. We're waiting for everything to be lined up before we take that move. We're waiting because we fear failure. We're waiting because we want permission from others to make moves. We're waiting because we fear judgment. And my message to you is don't be a waiter. There's never going to be a right time. You know, a lot of tech companies do this concept of launch and iterate. Launch a product and then iterate it, fix it while it's in the market, get feedback from users. You should do that as well with yourself. So one of the examples I can tell you in the book about don't being a waiter is I could have waited for the right opportunity in Egypt to find the right job for me. But I decided to take that role as a secretary for the chairman of a company, even though I was 27, I had several years of work experience, I had my master's degree, I was clearly qualified to do more than just that role. But I said I either can wait for the right role or I can take this opportunity to learn and to understand the telecoms business and understand what it's like to work for someone so dynamic like Naguib Sawiris. And that move changed my life forever. Mm-hmm. It really humbled me, taught me how to network. It taught me how to really invest in relationships. It taught me new skills I didn't even know I was capable of doing because I never tried. I never used those muscles before. Often in life, we say we can't do something. But in fact, we've never been asked to do them, so we don't know if we're capable. And 9 times out of 10, you step up to the challenge, you can rely on yourself to do it, and you can achieve success.
Well, in your book, you talked about the importance of the personal brand, and you told us about as well how important it is to have your own personal brand. But why is it so important? Because, when people look at, when you are talking about the personal brand, all I'm thinking is how is that even done, and why is it so important?
Yeah, when you think about personal branding, like I said, replace it with the word reputation. And don't you care about your reputation, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a strong reputation in order to attract talent, in order to attract investors, in order to work with the right suppliers or partners. Like when people know Lovin Dubai as a name in the market, people want to work with you because you've built a strong name, you've built a strong reputation. The same thing goes for your business or even for you. If you work at a company, why should you work on your personal brand? Because if you want to get a promotion, If you want to work on that project that's going to make you a rock star, you have to have a strong personal brand at work. Are you a collaborator? Are you a team player? Are you a good listener? Are you resourceful? Are you insightful? Are you a go-getter? That's your personal brand at work. It's your reputation. We live in a world right now with cancel culture, or, a lot of people are taking advantage of the creator economy, creating their personal brands in the market. So you can't afford not to work on your reputation. You can't afford not to build your brand in the market. And your reputation, I talk about in the book, is a currency. What's its worth, what's its value, and treat it as something so valuable. Your name is the only thing you own.
So true. And if we were to look, we're going to steal you for some advice, I guess. And if we were to look at that a little bit more deeply, like if I'm an entrepreneur, outside of businesses, people, like what do you actually mean for personal branding? Like give 3 pieces of advice for a person who wants to build a personal brand, who wants to start treating their reputation like currency.
Okay, first of all, you need to figure out what's the thing I want to be known for? What's my purpose? What is the thing I want to talk about? Is it yoga? Is it photography? Is it my passion for writing? Is it what is the thing that you want to be known for? It could be related to your career or not related to your career, because a lot of people have things that they like to do, interests outside of work, right? So I want my personal brand to be about how to be an effective leader, or how to talk to people, or how to write a good resume or a CV. So what is your purpose? That's number 1. Number 2, who is your audience? Who do I really want to talk to? And figure out the best way to talk to them. Are you comfortable in a podcast format? Are you comfortable speaking on stage? Are you comfortable in real life, not on social media, building your personal brand in your community or however else you want to activate that? Are you comfortable doing blogs because you don't want to be seen on camera, so you just want to you want to write? There's multiple formats that you can think about. What's the format you can do consistently? What's the format that makes you comfortable? Because you need to be, which is number 3, authentic. Be yourself. The only way you're going to continue to build your personal brand and be consistent about it and to meet your purpose is to do it authentically. Like it's something that is your natural state that doesn't fake it till you make it. And I think about who you follow on social media. Why do you like to follow them? How are you connecting with them? They evoke emotion. You like their style of communicating. They're funny. They attract you in a way that makes you want to continue to follow them. You need to think about, what is your style? What's unique to you? Everybody has something. And I really believe that. And I find that the market is abundant. There's room for everybody. And don't think, oh, there's already another personal trainer doing that on social media, I'm not going to do that. Or there's already somebody doing inspirational work on the internet, I don't think I can be that person. You can, and you should.
Well, I want to say something that someone might be following all of the rules, the rules of self-reliance and everything. However, failure is bound to happen, whether we like it or not. And a lot of people are actually very afraid of failing, and they do often give up immediately from like the first inconvenience.
Yeah, so I failed a lot in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working for 30 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I had 2 full-time jobs. I worked at General Mills, a consumer packaged goods company, and I worked at Google full-time as an employee. And, failure is where I learned. Failure is where I grew. Failure is where I became innovative about what I wanted to do next. And I think we need to celebrate failures. Not everything in life is up and to the right. Like the peaks and valleys, that's where the growth comes from. And I feel like talking about it is really important. Like I love following companies and leaders who talk about their failures, because that's where the lessons come from. And I want to normalize it, because I feel like if we can find a way to find the lesson in the failure, it's what can move us forward and propel us forward. And it's actually, from my experience, where I grew the most. Like I got fired from a job and that felt terrible. I made a big mistake and I don't want to do that again. And that's what I want people to learn. Like nobody's perfect, and nobody gets to where they are by just doing success after success after success. It's learning about how to take those setbacks and turn them into comebacks.
Speaking of learning from success, so you were head of communications. You've had such an amazing career history, but one of the roles was head of communications, MENA, global communications and public affairs for Google. So what is the most valuable thing you learned during your time there?
I mean, Google is an incredible company. Obviously, it's been voted best place to work for several years in a row. So working there was the ultimate experience, except for I didn't like the hours, because you work Dubai hours, then London would wake up, and then the US, so you put in very, very long days. But I think the thing I learned the most by working at Google is that innovation is sort of something in everything you should do. Like, there's never a wrong answer. Like, you can try to innovate and problem solve for what you want to get done. And they really put a big emphasis on collaboration and working on cross-functional teams. So I never felt like I was alone. And I really loved that. I took that into my company. How do we work cross-functionally across the organization? Just because this is your work area, you don't work in your silo. Maybe somebody across the aisle that's doing something completely different can bring value to what you're trying to do. And I love that. And I took that everywhere I went in my career about, don't just take one perspective and one point of view on how you approach something. Try to work with different people, because everyone has a different perspective that can bring value to what you're trying to solve.
Well, you are a great, I would say, a firm believer, and invest in yourself.
Yes.
I mean, I love that, because like you said it at the beginning of the interview, and now you are keep on saying it in different ways. So what does that mean to you, and how can we do that today?
Yeah, and it's why I put it on the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Own your future by investing in yourself. I don't want to get left behind, Casey, because I don't know things, right? Everything on the internet is for free. YouTube videos are for free. Podcasts are for free. Spending time learning from somebody is for free, right? So I want you to think about not waiting for your manager to invest in you. Your manager's not waking up every day thinking about your career. Guaranteed. So you need to invest in yourself. Market is changing. Culture is changing. AI is here. The internet is taking over in ways that we never thought imaginable. So what are you doing to invest in yourself to stay ahead? Because the market is now a level playing field. Because of a global remote working environment, I'm not just competing with people in Dubai. I might be competing with someone with an internet connection that can take my job, because now they're hiring people remotely, right? So you need to stay competitive. You need to invest in yourself, read books, learn new skills, build more relationships. That's what I mean by invest in yourself. I'm not talking about monetary value, like you have to go take courses and pay for things. I'm talking about always sharpening yourself, always thinking about, what can I learn? How can I take advantage? We've never lived in a better time to be alive. We have access to everything for free just by getting online. And that for me is what motivates me. That's what excites me, that I'm like, I can learn from the biggest leaders in the world today. I can sit and listen to a podcast or see how Elon Musk or anybody starts their day. What do they do? What's LeBron James's routine? Like, I have access to that. Like, I'm going to hack as much as I can from learning how the world's best do it in my micro kind of version of things. And that for me is not only inspiring and educating, but it's going to give me a competitive edge at work and in my personal life.
Finally, a massive congratulations on the book. It is a great read if you yourself want to invest in yourself. It really tells you how in more detail. But in your words, who is the book for, and where can people find it?
So the book is for anyone with ambition. I feel like a lot of the feedback that I've gotten in the book, it hasn't been out a month yet. Thank God we're a bestseller. People have been reading it and consuming it either in audio format or in the hardcover. And they're telling me, if you're a young adult or a young entrepreneur, you want to learn how to have skills to learn how to build a network. How do you master the art of the DM on LinkedIn? How do you build relationships? If you're young in your career, you need to do that. It's for people who are CEOs, who are leaders of companies, who are entrepreneurs, who want to know in a pivot what they need to do. You have to learn how to rely on yourself so you don't get on the back foot. It's for people who are leaders in transition. You're in corporate, you want to be an entrepreneur. It's really for anybody. It truly is. I get that feedback from a lot of people that in different genres of their lives stages, they are consuming this book, loving kind of the value that it's bringing to them. The book is available on Amazon. It's also available at Kinokiniya. How do I say that?
I don't know.
That big bookstore.
The biggest bookstore.
And McGrudy's is available here locally at bookstores, but it's also available on Amazon. You order it today, it'll be at your doorstep tomorrow.
Maha, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate having me.
Thank you, Farah.
Thank you, Farah.
And that brings us to the end of the show. We're back here with you tomorrow morning. Have a fabulous Monday. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.